Okay, welcome back to another lesson. In this lesson, we're looking at a question that was tested in December 2022, and we're looking at question number 3. We're going to look at the whole of it. We begin with part A, Roman 1. We are told distinguish between the following terms as using probability. You're supposed to differentiate between conditional probability and marginal probability. This one will test how easy you can recall your notes. So we are saying that we begin with conditional probability. So conditional probability refers to the chances. That some outcomes occurs given that another event has also occurred. Given that another event has also occurred. So we are saying probability of B given A. This one read as probability of B given A. What is the probability that a student who has gone to school will study? That means we are talking of probability of already, the condition is the student has gone to school. Then we want to find the probability that that student has gone to school and is going to study. That is conditional probability. Then marginal probability. Marginal probability we are saying that is the probability of a single event occurring independent of other events. Independent of other events. We normally call this one just e.g. probability of A. What is the probability that is going to rain? What is the probability that something is going to happen? Then we are talking of probability of an event happening. That one we call that marginal probability. 2, you are supposed to distinguish between discrete probability distribution and continuous probability distribution. Now, we begin with the discrete probability distribution and say this. Discrete probability distribution are graphs of the outcomes. Are graphs of the outcomes of test results that are finite. Test results that are finite. Finite means that they have limits. Finite, they have limits. We say that it is used it is used to give all the possible values of a discrete random variable. All the possible values of a discrete random variables. Along with the probabilities. Excuse me. At this point, it's good to note discrete random variables, they take whole numbers. They don't have decimals. Huh? That's why we are saying that for discrete probability distribution, they take the values of a discrete random variables along with their probabilities. Now, continuous probability distribution. Continuous probability distribution. Continuous probability distributions are probabilities. Continuous probability distribution we are saying that these are probabilities. These are probability distribution. These are probability distribution in which random values or random variables, random variables can take any value, can take any continuous value. Unlike discrete distribution, where it takes only whole numbers, continuous random distribution can take any values, even decimals. Good. That's what you're supposed to explain and score your 8 marks. We move to part B. You are asked, the banking industry in a given country is controlled by 3 banks: Faida Bank, Akiba Bank, and Ahadi Bank. As that 1st December 2020, Faida Bank controlled 30% of the market share, Akiba Bank controlled 50% of the market share, and Ahadi Bank controlled 20% of the market share. A survey was conducted on the market share of the 3 banks as at that 1st December 2021 and revealed the following. That means this Faida Bank had retained 80% of its market share and lost 15 and 5 to Akiba and Ahadi Bank. Akiba Bank had lost 10% and 20% of its market share to Faida and Ahadi Bank. Ahadi Bank had lost 5% of its market share to Faida Bank and Akiba Bank. There were no significant changes in the banking habits of the consumer during the year ended December 2021. Now, required, determine the transition matrix from the above information. These kind of questions are in Markov analysis. When you find this kind of question, we had discussed this, they belong to Markov analysis. Yeah. So here we need to know who are the users and who are the producers here. So here we shall come up with a table, and we ask ourselves where we are coming from and where this one is going to. So here we have 3 banks. We have Faida, we have Akiba, and we have Ahadi. Their customer also moving from Faida to Faida. They are moving Faida to Akiba, and they're also moving from Faida to Ahadi. This is the movement of these customers. Now we come up with the transition matrix. How are they moving? That is what the transition matrix is all about. How is the movement of these customers from one bank to another? Once we fill this one, then we shall come up with our transition matrix. Once we understand this, then we shall come up with our transition matrix. Let's go to the question. Faida Bank retain 80%. Therefore, from Faida to Faida is 80. You give this one in decimals. So Faida to Faida 0.8. Then and lose 15% to Akiba and 5% to Ahadi. So Akiba will take 0.15 and this one will take 0.05. Good. We go to the next statement. Akiba Bank had lost 10% and 20% of its market share to Faida and Ahadi. So what does it mean? Faida will take 10%, 0.1. Ahadi will take 0.2, and the balance are those who are going from or are remaining with Akiba, which is 0.7. Number 3. Ahadi had lost 5% of the market share to Faida Bank and 5% to Akiba. Meaning 5% went to Faida, so this is 0.05, and then this is 0.05, meaning these guys who were left the Ahadi are 0.9. Having done this, now you can come up with your matrix. We say that matrix is enclosed by a bracket. So our transition matrix here, we shall have 0.8, 0.1, 0.05, 0.15, 0.7, 0.05. Here we shall have 0.05, 0.2, 0.9. Now this becomes our transition matrix. The transition matrix is just explaining the movement of people from one bank to another. Up to that point, I hope it's clear. We move to the next part. We are told that determine the market share of the 3 banks as at that 1st December 2021. Now, for we to get the projection for 2021, we need to use the market share in the 2020. Let's go back to the question. You are told that as at that 1st December 2020, Faida Bank had 30% of the market share, Akiba Bank had 50%, and Ahadi Bank had. So here, in this part, we are saying that we need to get the market share. We need to get the market share for 2020. This market share for 2020, we multiply it with our transition matrix, so that we can get the share for 2021. Now, the statement reads clearly that 2020, 30% for Faida, 50% Akiba, and Ahadi had 20. So, if I come here, 2020, we have Ahadi. We start with the first is Faida. Then we have Akiba, and then we have Ahadi. Their market share Their market share was 30%, 50%, 20%. This is the matrix. We matter it with our transition matrix. Our transition matrix is here. We shall have 0, 0.8, 0.1, 0.05, 0.15, 0.7, 0.05, 0.05, 0.2, 0.9. Now, here, what we do, you will come back and apply the knowledge of matrix multiplication. There is what we call conformity of a matrix, confirm whether it's true. The number of columns here must be equal to the number of rows in the next column, and that's okay. It means that we are ready to go. Let's get the market share for FIDA. FIDA, we shall have 0.3 times 0.8 plus 0.5 times 0.1 plus 0.2 times 0.05. Hope that is clear. Pick your calculator. 0.3 times 0.8 plus 0.5 times 0.1 and get your FIDA as 0.3. We move on. We go to Akiba. Akiba is in the next row. We shall have 0.3 times 0.15 plus 0.5 times 0.7 plus 0.2 times 0.05. When you work at this one, you'll get 0.405. And finally, we have someone called Ahadi. This is a bank called Ahadi. The number of customers that will, the market share for Ahadi Bank in the year 2021 will be 0.3 times 0.05 plus 0.5 times 0.2 plus 0.2 times 0.9. When you work out this one, you'll find that the share is 0.295. It therefore means in the year 2020, in the year 2021, the market share as it is indicated there, FIDA Bank, this is FIDA had 30%. We have Akiba had 40.5%, and with this Ahadi, the next is Ahadi Bank. Ahadi Bank had, if you come here, Ahadi Bank had 20.9%. 20.9%. Let me check again. Let me confirm this. Let's confirm this. Come to FIDA is 0.3. Come to this is 0.3 times 0.8 plus 0.5 times 0.1 plus 0.2 times 0.05. I think that's all right. Then this one 0.3. Here we're having this is 0.3 times 0.05, then plus the next is 0.5 times 0.2 plus 0.2 times 0.9, 0.295. That's okay. We go to the other one, 0.3 times 0.15, then this one plus this is 0.5 times 0.7, then plus 0.2 times 0.05. That's okay. 0.405. I think that is okay. 0.3 times 0.8 plus 0.5 times 0.1, then plus 0.2 times 0.05. Correct. That is how we are supposed to get the market share for the year 2021. I hope that is clear. Now we move on. We move on to the next. You are told that we look the steady state market share of the three banks. You see, these customers will keep on shifting from one bank to another, and they will reach a point where there is no more shifting. They are done. So that is what we call a steady state or at a balanced state. Yeah, it's a steady state or at a balanced state. So we sorry, this I've written here 20, this is 29. This is 29.5. You see, when you add all these, they should give you 100. You see 0.295, you multiply this one by 100, it should give you 29.5. 0.295. When you add all these, they should give you 100%. Okay. Having mentioned that, I was saying this, that at a steady state, we are saying that there is no more movement of the customers. So we expect that the transition, the market share will not change. So at this point, we say that at that particular rate, we don't know. So that is what we are looking for. So we say that let the market share at steady state, let the market share at steady state, and we say that be represented by, when you have faida to be represented by X, and then we talk of akiba be represented by Y, and finally ahadi be represented by Z. We are looking for this market share where there are no more movements of customers from one bank to another. So these percentages, they should add up to 100, and their probabilities should add up to 1, such that when you have X plus Y plus Z, all these one, they should give you 1. Now, for convenience, I want to substitute X with X, Z with X and Y, so that I work them out nicely. So Z, make Z the subject of the formula. Z will be 1 minus X minus Y, so that I work with only 2 terms. Now, What are we saying here? We are saying the market share before and the market share after is the same. So in the long run, you see that in the long run, sometimes you can say or at equilibrium. When you find these terminologies, they mean the same. Equilibrium, in the long run, the market share remains constant, meaning x, y, 1 minus x minus y, which is z, multiplied by the transition matrix, which is 0 0.8, 0 0.1, 0 0.05, then 0 0.15, 0 0.7, 0 0.05, 0 0.05, 0 0.2, 0 0.9. This matrix will not change the market share. The market share will remain the same. X, y, 1 minus x. This market share will remain the same. We're saying that the market share will not change. So all this will remain the same. Should be equals to x, y, 1 minus x minus y. The market share will not be the same. So let's look at this. What is this x and y? Once we identify this, we are free to go. How do you multiply this? It is row with the column. So let's start with the first one. 0.8x plus 0.1y plus 0.05 into 1 minus x minus y. It should give me x. I hope that is clear. Row times the column. Second, 0.15x plus 0.7y plus 0.05 into 1 minus x minus y. It should give me y. The transition matrix is not changing. Finally, 0.05 into 1 minus x minus y plus this should be 0. This is 0.05x, yeah, 0.05x plus 0.2y plus 0. Let me look at this one. Let me repeat again. Here we are saying that here it is x times 0.8, I get 0.8x, y times 0.1, I get 0.1y. Then there is this 0.05 multiplied by the whole of this. That is 0.05 times 1 minus x minus y should give me x. Good. The next one is x times 0.15, you get 0.15x. Y times 0.7, you get 0.7y. Then there is this part times the whole of this. 0.1, this give me y. The third column, we are saying x times 0.05, 0.05x. Y times 0.2, it gives me 0.2y. And finally, I have 0.9 into 1 minus x minus y. It should give me what? 1 minus x minus y. Good. Let's open the bracket and simplify. Here we need now some few maths. 0.8x plus 0.1y plus 0.05 minus 0.05x minus 0.05y is equals to x. Add the right terms here. X, this one and this one, and equate and bring this on the other side. So we shall have, let me use my calculator again. Here we have this one, we have 0.8 plus, no, not my plus, it's minus 0.8 minus 0.05. 0.8 minus 0.05. I get 0.75, isn't it? Then here I will have 0.75x. Let me go to y. Y, I'm having 0.1 minus 0.05. 0.1 minus 0.05. This gives me plus 0.05y. This one is equals to x. I've skipped something. There is a number here without anything. This is plus 0.05 is equals to x. Add the like terms, you'll get, this is 1. When come on, this becomes negative. You'll get negative 0.25x plus 0.05y is equals to negative 0.05. Good. Now, we need to get another equation so that once we get two simultaneous equations, then we can be able to get x and y. Let's move on to the next one. Simplify the next one. 0.15x plus 0.7y plus 0.05 minus 0.05x minus 0.05y is equals to y. The second equation. This is the first one. We are dealing with the second one. Add the like terms. Here you also need to use your calculator. We are having 0.15 x minus 0.05. This will give me 0.1x. I hope it's clear. This is 0.1x. And then y, I'm having 0.7. Let me go to y. 0.7 y minus 0.05. And then remember, y on the other side is positive. So it come on this side, it will be minus 0.35y should give me negative 0.05. Good. I hope it's clear up to this point. Having simplified this, you'll now have two equations here. Negative 0.25x plus 0.05y is equals to negative 0.05. Negative 0. Not negative, this is positive. This is 0.1x minus 0.35y should give you negative 0.05. Now this basic mathematics, the one you did in the first topic, simultaneous equations. At this juncture, you all know how to solve simultaneous equation. So I will find that x will be 0.24 and y is equal to 0.21. Therefore, you can be able to get z. We said z is 1 minus x minus y, which is 1 minus 0.24 minus 0.21. This is 1 minus 0.45. Is that okay? 0.45. This gives me 0.55. So in the long run, the market share, we are going to find that faida will be x, which is 24%. Then we have akiba is y. Akiba is y, which is 21%. And finally, we have ahadi, which is 55%. As I mentioned, and I emphasize that in the first question, this percentage should add up to 100, and the probability should add up to 1. So that's how you're supposed to do this question to score your 10 marks. And the other part, you also have to have 10 marks and you score 20 in general. Otherwise, we are going to stop there in this video. We will meet in our next video. Goodbye.